For early human societies, towering mountains and thick, unyielding forests were natural barriers, the isolated communities, severely restricting movement and preventing groups from organizing at a large scale. Yet ancient traditions point to a major historical anomaly located precisely within this hostile terrain, a highly coordinated, sprawling superpower known as Kishkindha. King Vali consolidated these disparate groups by acting as an architect of infrastructure and political order. Today, we are breaking down the specific political, defensive, and economic systems Vali utilized to construct a thriving society out of an impenetrable wilderness. Analyzing this blueprint reveals how the same mechanics that built the empire created the specific vulnerabilities that would eventually lead to its collapse. The first pillar of Kishkindha's success was centralized unity. Maintaining a chain of command across fractured, mountainous terrain is a massive logistical hurdle. This topographical map shows Vali's solution. He transformed scattered Vanara into a unified network, using rapid, branching messenger routes flowing into a single central hub. This expanding zone reveals the second pillar, military deterrence. Kishkindha secured these borders without constant warfare. Instead, Vali used his reputation for physical strength as a strategic tool. He projected a threat so significant his personal standing served as a psychological barrier against attack. Neighboring kingdoms hesitated. Recognizing the risk of open conflict, potential rivals consistently chose to pursue diplomacy rather than provoke Vali's forces. Psychological deterrence, rather than continuous physical conquest, served as the actual strategic engine that provided Kishkindha the stability it needed to flourish. The third pillar relies on how they utilized the land. The standard defensive doctrine of most ancient societies involved constructing massive stone walls and clearing paved linear roads for logistics. This split screen compares doctrines. Left, a traditional walled city with rigid roads. Right, Kishkindha ignores walls, integrating into dense canopy routes and vertical passes. Notice how invaders easily besiege the traditional city, but completely fail against Kishkindha's natural choke points. Terrain mastery neutralized marching armies. By adapting strategy to match the environment, rather than altering the environment to fit a standard strategy, Kishkindha created an impenetrable natural fortress. The fourth pillar addresses a difficult logistical reality. How do you feed and shelter a massive population daily when you are isolated deep within rocky, mountainous forests? The Vanara integrated directly with their ecosystem. They extracted medicines from the canopy, relied on rivers for hydration, and occupied pre-existing caves rather than building urban shelters. This created a closed-loop system. Because the immediate environment supplied their basic needs, Kishkindha did not have to launch costly, resource-draining expansionist wars against neighboring kingdoms just to survive. The foundation of their golden age was a self-sustaining economy operating in equilibrium with its immediate surroundings. At the height of its power, internal pressure on Kishkindha's leadership began to mount. The centralized authority that built the kingdom concentrated its vulnerabilities. For Kishkindha, the catalyst for this fracture emerged from a localized rivalry. Trust between King Vali and his brother Sugriva began to erode. This localized family dispute rapidly spread. It severed the carefully established communication networks and split the central command into opposing factions. The irony of Kishkindha's design became apparent. A civilization structurally perfected to repel any external invasion possessed zero internal defense mechanisms to survive a civil war. Their geographical advantages, their sustainable economies, and heavy military deterrence are useless if the leadership fractures from within. The division between Vali and Sugriva ended the era of stability, replacing it with a period of exile and civil conflict that redefined the Vanara's role in the region.